The number one problem most Warzone players face when going for a high kill game is going to be their pacing. And that's why in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down what pacing is, and I'm also going to be giving you several tips and tricks on how to improve your pacing and get more kills along the way. But make sure that you only try to implement one or two of these tips at a time to your gameplay. Don't try to implement them all at once or you're going to get confused and it's not really going to work out. But feel free to come back to the video anytime you need to get more tips once you've mastered the one or two that you've selected. But if you like my content, make sure you drop a sub, comment what your favorite part of the video was, and if it helped you out. And with that being said, let's jump right in. The first tip I'm going to be giving you, because it's the first thing that applies to your pacing, is going to be your landing spot. You're going to be landing the same spot every game because that's where you're going to be most comfortable at, and because you're going to know where all the loot's at and where all the money is at there, and you're going to know if it's going to be a sweaty spot. Now, you don't have to land a sweaty spot to get a high kill game. Like Control, Prison, and Headquarters are very sweaty, but you could land somewhere such as Harbor and Industries and still get a high kill game. But I land Control because that's where I'm comfortable at. So when I'm landing Control, I'm hoping to get my loadout down immediately, because getting your loadout down in the early game is very important, because while other people are fighting with full loot, you'll be fighting with your loadout. So whenever I hear this enemy above me, I'm going to go ahead and push this immediately for one, to try to get his money, and for two, to try to get information of where his teammates are at. So whenever I look at my minimap and see his teammates are anywhere near me, and I'm not in immediate danger, I'm going to go ahead and start working towards that loadout once again. Now, another upside to getting your loadout in early game is you're going to be comfortable with your guns, and you're not going to be the one fighting with full loot, and you're going to be comfortable with the TTK, with the movement on your guns, and you're going to be able to approach more fights with momentum. So whenever I open up this last crate, and I'm going in this room, and I see this loadout crate, this means I can get a UAV instead of my loadout now, and I can push more fights with momentum now. But there's a saying called regain before you have to regain. So instead of getting UAV, this means I'm going to go ahead and get myself an extra loadout, even though I already have my loadout guns. So whenever I die, I don't have to spend a bunch of time regaining and wandering around the map everywhere, that I can just land on this loadout and get my perks, lethal tacticals, and my guns. So make sure that you're trying to get your loadout down in early game, and if you have enough money, you get an extra loadout, and you are landing the same spot every single game. Just a little bit. Hands down, one of the most important tips to improve your pacing is learning how to read your minimap. So here's how to do it. If there's an arrow below the dot on the minimap, the enemy's below you. If there's an arrow above that dot, the enemy's above you. If there's no arrow on that dot, then the enemy's on the same level as you. Now, when you should be looking at your minimap is whenever you hear shooting, because unsuppressed shooting will reveal the enemy's position on radar, or after every single kill, because if he has teammates in it, will reveal his teammate's position on radar. And then if you have a UAV or portable radar up, you should be looking at your minimap, because it will reveal any person on the minimap that's near you. Now, this tip is very important to improving your pacing, because if you get one kill, then it will reveal the next person, and then you go get that kill, and it'll make your pace really fast. So make sure you learn this tip and really try to master it. Hold up, pause the video. Remember whenever I said I would explain what pacing was? Well, pacing is the speed or the rate you're doing something. So how fast or how slow you're doing it. For example, say you get home from school, and around 30 minutes in of doing your homework, you get a phone call from the boys. They're saying, yo, when will you be online so we can play a few games of Rebirth? And you say, at the pace I'm going, I won't be able to play today. That means that you're going slower than you'd like, or just slower and not enough time to get things done, and you won't be able to be on the game that night. So that's why in all my gameplays, I'm going really fast in my pacing. Like, I'm never stopping. I'm always pushing a new gunfight. I'm never stopping to open up a crate randomly just for a new gun or a plate or a little bit of cash. And that's also why whenever I die, I'm so good at regaining that I can get right back on pace, and I'm not stuck in this regain loop looking for money and plates and stuff. So make sure you really try to master this tip, because it will make you a better Warzone player. Along with having a very fast pace, you should also have a slower pace at times. This means playing your positioning at times instead of like going in trying to push a full team at once. So out here, this enemy is kind of behind cover, so I want to go ahead and take a position behind cover as well instead of pushing up on him, because since I know he's pre-aiming over there, that there's most likely more enemies, and I want to kind of kick this off without taking damage to get this down. So once I get this down in thirst, I get third-partied a little bit and take a little bit of damage, but while I'm plating up, I'm immediately thinking about going to push his teammate that was below me. So whenever I try to shoot that enemy out the sky, miss all my bullets, I'm going to go ahead and push this enemy. Now I'm right back up there to having a fast pace, and I'm able to get this kill. So make sure that you have a fast and slow pace at times when you need it, because this is one of those tips that will really improve your pacing. Normally when you die, your pacing's cooked. You're stuck in that regain loop that I talked about earlier, not being able to fully regain. But remember this loadout I bought earlier for whenever I died that I could land on immediately and get my guns? Well, even if you don't have a loadout down, you should have spots picked out around the map called regain spots. My regain spots are the shack near control. This is my first spot that I go to. My second spot is prison showers. Now, if I didn't have my loadout here, I could have immediately went to those spots. And now the regain spots, what they're for is whenever you land in and you don't got your loadout, you could go to those spots to get money, guns, loot, and plates, and then you're going to be able to find more enemies and then get their money and then buy your loadout. So those are mainly what those regain spots are for. So make sure you have several spots picked out around the map for your regains. A mistake a lot of people make with their pacing is opening up unnecessary crates. So notice I only have one plate when pushing into this room. Sure, I could have opened up crates before I pushed in on this enemy, but I'm confident in my aim and movement to get this kill. So whenever I kill him, whenever he dies, he drops money, plates, ammo, and guns. So I know whenever I pick up his loot, I'm going to be restocked on plates, ammo, and money. So I can get right back into the action and get my pace really speedy again. Think of it like this: 1 kill away from getting enough money for loadout, 1 kill away from getting enough plates to get fully plated, and 1 kill away to being fully restocked on ammo. Think of it like that, and that will speed up your pace a lot. So make sure you really try to learn this tip because it is very important. Here's a little bonus tip to win yourself more gunfights. This is called centering and pre-firing. So centering is keeping your crosshair in the middle of your screen. So whenever I come around this corner, my crosshair is from his chest to head level, and pre-firing is shooting before you even see an enemy or where you think an enemy's at. Because I already have my finger on the trigger pulling it by the time I'm around the corner. And that's how I'm able to get that kill with great centering and a pre-fire, because I had my crosshair centered around the corner and I was already shooting before I was all the way around it. So make sure that if you think an enemy's behind a corner or you're chasing someone, that you center your crosshairs and you pre-fire it. A really advanced pacing tip that the pros use is called life pinging. This will allow you to chase your enemies with more intention. So whenever I life ping this enemy, it puts a little red dot over his head, and here's how to do it. You hit the up arrow on your D-pad, it will put that dot on his head, and it will allow you to see him through walls. It can tell you if he's gonna run away, stay there, or if he's gonna re-challenge you. And what I mean by chasing them with more intention is whenever I cracked him, I can chase him and know I'm most likely gonna win that gunfight because I had the life ping on him and I can tell what he's gonna do. So make sure that you are life pinging your enemies almost every single gunfight, because you'll be able to see them through walls. And the reason I say it is advanced is because a lot of pros use it mainly, and not a lot of low level players use it as much. So make sure you try to do this every single gunfight you're in.
We've got 10 squads active in the field.
Better than what I got.
Good kill. Marking the rest of that squad on your tac map. Get hunting.
Another pacing tip mainly the pros use is called farming teams. So notice whenever I get that kill on that enemy, he only has one teammate left. That teammate is last alive. So that means if I kill that teammate, the team has to go back to the lobby. It's squad wiped. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and leave that teammate left and let him get his teammates back so that I'm always keeping that team alive and I'm in the blender. My pacing is going to be very fast. And again, the reason why I say that it's like more of a pro tip for advanced players is because not a lot of low KDs will do this because they're mainly wanting to hit the clip and try to team wipe them. And I will say I am guilty of this when I'm on stream, trying to be showboaty for my viewers. But make sure that once you get confident in your aim and movement and you have the ability to farm teams and you want to get a higher kill game, that you try to farm them more, because it will increase your pace and your ability to get more kills.
Mission timeline expired. UAV exiting the AO.
Mark remaining operators from that squad. Hunt them down.
I'm just going to come back to this skin just because it's really important. So notice whenever I life ping this enemy, as I'm shooting at him, he just stops. Plain as day, just stops right here. I know that he's getting ready for a re-challenge, so I got to be prepared myself. Slide past him to break his camera, that I'm able to get that kill there because I knew he was going to try to re-challenge me, so my mindset was already prepared on, okay, we got to time our slide cancel and try to break his camera so that he doesn't break ours and kill us before we can kill him. So make sure, like I said before, you really try to life ping your enemies in every single gunfight you get in.
Enemy dropping into the AO.
If you've watched my videos before, then you know the answer to the question I'm about to ask you. What enemy do we push first? If you said the 1v1, you're 100% correct, because just like in any other video I talk about pushing 1v1s, it is still very important to your pacing, but you're probably thinking, oh, pushing the 1v1 is going to kill our pace because we're playing slower and we're not going to be able to get more kills. That's actually not true, because we kill that 1v1, we win that gunfight, and then we get the thirst. It's then going to reveal all his teammates, and then we work off that information, push like a 1v1 or separate them into a 1v2, and then we're suddenly working off a really fast pace. So make sure that if you have a chance, you push a 1v1 fight without hesitation.
Fire sale active. Buy station prices have been reduced. Contract worth more than usual, so get it done, soldier. Enemy destroyed. Use your tac map.
Backing off gunfights is very important to your pacing because, look right here, there's an enemy on the hill that was shooting at me as well when I was in that one gunfight, and I'm 1 HP. Now if I just stood there and turned around, tried shooting him with 5 bullets in my aims, I'm going down, then I have to go through the whole regaining process again. But instead, I'm going to get reloaded, I'm going to calm down, get plated up, and then I'm going to re-engage. And since I did that, I was able to win since I reloaded and I plated up and just didn't turn around and start shooting him with 5 bullets and then ended up dying. So make sure that if you're getting shot at by multiple enemies, you immediately back off and try to reload and plate up if you have a chance. Yeah, this is a 40 bomb for sure. Or at least potentially could be.
Operator establishing score streak.
It was at this moment he knew. He messed up.
I wasted that self-revive. Now, y'all, I'm not like other streamers. I will point out my mistakes. Now, the mistake I make right here is whenever my UAV runs out, I don't go to the buy station and get a new one, even though it's fire sale and I have $4,000. I immediately try to take on this 1v3, and even though I'm a professional Call of Duty player with a PR of 48, I still make mistakes and die. Now, I will say the mistake I made was fighting in this building without any concrete information. If it's a 1v1, we take it. If it's a 1v2, 3, 4, or we don't know, then we have to get information. Then I end up going down to this frontman skin. So make sure that if you're going to push into a building, you have concrete information. Now, this is where you really lose pace. You died a second time, it's almost in-game, and your loadout's in gas. What do? Well, around Rebirth Island, there are these things called biometric scanners. If you get a silver keycard out of them or above, they give you your perks, lethal and tacticals, and money to buy your loadout guns. They're like a little personal loadout, whereas bronze will only give you your lethal and tacticals and a little bit of cash. Now, a mistake a lot of people make with these things is they will use them right off rip and not save them for in-game. We'll talk on this in just a second. But after I get my bronze keycard, I'm kind of bummed. Open up this crate, get a big fat stack of cash, and I know I can immediately go get my loadout right after this because I got enough money for it once I cash in that card. Now, back to what I was saying is whenever people use them in early game, they don't have a regain when before they die right before in-game happens, and they're forced sticking with floor loot guns and they end up dying. What you should be doing is you should be saving them for whenever you die and it's closer to in-game so that you can regain on later in the game without basically any problems. The biggest mistake I see people make with their pacing is in-games. A lot of people think you can just camp in a corner and win the game that way. Well, if that was true, I wouldn't close out this game with 37 kills and the win. If it was true, then I would only, at most, close out the game with 28 or 30 kills. Now, in-game, respawn disables. That means you should be playing less aggressive, but that does not mean your pacing dies. It means you should be getting in zone early before anyone else, which is called rotating early, getting high ground, then power positioning. It means the highest point on the map with cover and the position that will trump everyone else's. So say chemicals in zone, I want to get on top of that and sit like on the edge of the roof where like a lot of people can't see me, but I can see them, and start wreaking havoc and killing a lot of people doing that way. So make sure that once in game happens, you're not playing really scared, because that will kill your pace a lot. Make sure you're trying to get in zone with cover, then power positioning like I explained it to you.
Gas is closing in. There's an enemy squad gunning for you. Enemy UAV is online. Hostile UAV in the area.
I'm genuinely cooked. 30 bomb is in question. 40 bombs out of question.
Five squads still operational in the AO. Only 10 left. You've got gas moving in.
Remember what I said about getting in zone with cover, then power positioning? This is exactly what I'm doing now. I'm getting on this building since it has cover, and I'm going to have the power positioning. And see that building over there? Even though it has high ground over top of me, it's out of zone. That means my high ground trumps their high ground, since mine is in zone and theirs isn't, since whenever they have to jump off that building into zone, I'm going to be able to beam them off of it. So I mean, make sure, at least, if you don't take anything else away from this video, make sure you take this away, that you rotate in zone early with cover, then power positioning, because this will win you more games and get you more kills.
Only 4 remain. Finish the job.
UAV standing by.
Calling in score speed.
There's an increased payout for this job. Be sure to collect.
LDBR.
The only exception it's okay to not rotate early and make a long rotation into gas is whenever there's someone already in zone or high ground on you. That enemy was on high ground and he was already pretty much close enough to zone that I had to make a long rotation into gas and then rotate into zone once he kind of rotated down. So that was the only reason it's okay for me to kind of do that. So make sure that if there's someone in zone already, you make a long rotation in gas and around them if you have the necessary tools such as a PDS, gas mask, or stims. Since we are about to clutch up this epic 37 kill game, I want to go ahead and ask y'all to subscribe because I'm trying to become the biggest Warzone content creator there is. And just remember, if my thumbnails ain't the best or my videos ain't the best edited like the big time creators, I'm a 15-year-old editing on a PS5 in his bedroom. But if you like my content, make sure you drop a sub, comment what your favorite part of the video was and if it helped you out. And also comment yes or no if I should come out with a live commentary video of me thinking through my thought process and explaining why I'm doing what I'm doing as a 3KD player. No,
I will
make that a
not
1v1.
discriminate.
Finish the mission. Take them down. The enemy never stood a chance.